If you have decided to use a James Hardie product for your exterior renovation but can't decide on a color, this video is for you. We're going to be reviewing the Statement Collection colors today, which are a collection of about 18 colors. It varies a little bit by region, but these are the basic James Hardie colors that they keep stocked and readily available. So they are less expensive and very popular and what most people end up choosing for their exterior reno. I've time-stamped the entire video, so if there are just a couple colors that you want to skip around to, that's totally fine. Or if you are completely undecided, you can watch the entire thing through. Or if you would rather skip all of the legwork, I do consultations for James Hardie exterior colors, which you can find linked down below. Okay, so I've just got my little James Hardie fan deck here, and we're going to work through it one by one, starting off with Arctic White. Arctic White is a cool off-white with blue-green undertones, similar to Benjamin Moore Winter White or Sherwin-Williams Ethereal White. White houses are classic and timeless, although recently they have been trending as modern farmhouses. So if you want to go with a more classic and timeless look, I would recommend white windows as opposed to black windows. And Arctic White happens to coordinate really well with standard white vinyl windows. Even though it is a cool off-white with those blue-green undertones, Arctic White just looks totally fresh and crisp and white once it's actually installed outside, because any color that's installed in the full exposure of daylight is going to look much brighter than it does on the chip. Because it is white, you can just have fun with the front door color. I really encourage you to pick a color, although wood looks really nice too. If you are going to do a color, my pro tip is to pull something from your garden. So if you have flowers that you plant every year or perennials that come back every year in a certain color, it is so pretty to match one of your florals to your door color. Okay, moving on to Cobblestone. Cobblestone is one of my favorite Statement Collection colors. It is soft, flexible, and enduring. It's just a super versatile neutral. James Hardie calls it a taupe, but I would call it a beige. It's pretty similar to Sherwin-Williams Skyline steel and Benjamin Moore Revere pewter. Again, in that full daylight exposure, it looks really light and soft. It looks great with white trim, although I've also seen it with cobblestone trim for sort of a tone-on-tone look. It also pairs really well with brick. Cobblestone is my favorite color to pair with bricks and a lot of different stones, but brick in particular because it coordinates well with the mortar and it's light enough to look fresh but soft enough to work with the earthy tones of the brick. And you still have lots of door colors available to you with cobblestone, so I think it's a great flexible choice that suits almost every home. Moving on to Navajo Beige. It is a light yellow beige similar to Sherwin-Williams rice grain. I think it's a bit more suited to more traditional homes. It looks good with brown roofs and pairs well with orangey yellow brick and some earthier stones if you are working around those fixed elements. Okay, now on to Monterey Taupe. This one is tricky. Personally, I wouldn't call it a taupe. Neutrals that are somewhere between gray and beige but have those warm, pinky, purpley undertones, whereas Monterey Taupe has a distinct green undertone. It's slightly lighter and earthier than Benjamin Moore Sage Mountain for reference, and it might work with some stones, but it's actually not a very flexible color because it is just so pared back, so earthy. Other people might describe it as muddy, so you're definitely more limited with your accent colors, door colors, stuff like that. It needs a softer window and trim color. White trim and windows with a color like this just look too stark. But again, you might have some exterior stone or driveway or earthy window colors that coordinate well with Monterey Taupe. And just like any color, it looks really good as long as everything else is working together. Okay, now we've got Khaki Brown, which is a warm taupey brown similar to Sherwin-Williams Sanderling. It tends to be more flexible than Monterey Taupe, and it works well with a lot of warm 2000s stone. It also looks really good with green, blue, and even violet accents, so you can still have a bit of fun with your door and your outdoor furniture. It's not the most modern color, but I do like that it can pair better with a broader palette. And up next is Timber Bark. Timber Bark is a cool brown with subtle green undertones similar to Sherwin-Williams Brainstorm Bronze. And it's generally not a color I recommend. Browns really dominated the 70s and then again in the 2000s. And so a color like this has the power to instantly date your home, which is not what most people are going for when they refresh their siding. Unless this is a color that you just really love, I would go for a lighter neutral or an actual color instead, because even if you have stone, driveway, other fixed elements that you're working around, one of the other lighter neutrals in the collection will likely work just as well, if not better. And up next is Pearl Gray. This is a lovely warm violet gray similar to Benjamin Moore Baltic Gray. Like all lighter neutrals, it is a bit more forgiving and has a bit more aesthetic longevity. Lighter neutrals don't tend to get stuck in trend cycles the way mid-tone to darker neutrals do. Think of the pink beiges from the 90s, the browns in the 2000s, the grays in the 2010s, and the blacks through the 2020s. So if you're looking for longevity in your design and a more classic and timeless look, you are almost always better off to go with a paler neutral or a color. Anyway, back to Pearl Gray. It suits a lot of different home styles and it looks so good as shingles on coastal style homes. It also looks really good with white trim, so you really don't have to overthink it. Now jumping right into Light Mist, a lot of the same comments as Pearl Gray above. Light Mist is a gray with a blue-green undertone with just a touch more color than Benjamin Moore's Half Moon Crest. It also works on many styles of homes and looks great as shingles on coastal homes. And it also looks really great with white trim and details. So you have a foolproof combination there right out of the box. You can just pair it with the Arctic white trim and you are set. Now moving on to Gray Slate. It is a cool mid-tone gray with blue-green undertones similar to Sherwin-Williams Cityscape. This is another color I would not recommend because again, it harkens back to all of those depressing grays we saw dominating the 2010s. It looks a little flat and uninspired, and it's just not really a color that you need to coordinate with other fixed finishes if you're working around those. You will be able to find another option with one of the paler neutrals in the James Hardie set, so Gray Slate is a color I would skip altogether. And I would generally say the same for Night Gray. It's more of a charcoal with blue-violet undertones similar to Benjamin Moore Gunmetal or Sherwin-Williams Web Gray. Again, darker neutrals are just a bit harder to pull off. This has a strong enough undertone that I think you could lean into sort of that blue-violet as more of a color on a more traditional home. Lots of light colored trim to balance it out, and lots of nice landscaping to give it some life. Colors like this tend to look better on modern homes, supported with lots of wood and trees and greenery. Okay, moving into the blues. These are some of my favorites as well. BOOTHBAY Blue is a muted blue with a bit of green running through it. It's a touch lighter and more colorful than Sherwin-Williams Foggy Day. It suits almost every home style, and blue is always a timeless choice in North America. It looks good with Arctic white trim if you like a more high contrast look, or if you like something a little softer, you can pair it back with cobblestone trim. And moving right along into evening blue, it's basically just the darker version of BOOTHBAY Blue. Similar to Bear's Lilacs, all the same comments as BOOTHBAY. Blue is always well loved, and colors tend to be a little bit harder to timestamp, so you get a bit more longevity out of this one as well. I think that BOOTHBAY and evening blue make a really nice subtle combination. So you could do, say, evening blue on the body of your home and then BOOTHBAY up in the gables with some shingles, something like that. And next we have Aged Pewter. This is the warmest mid-tone gray in the Statement collection, similar to Sherwin-Williams Gauntlet Gray for reference. Again, this wouldn't be my first choice, but if you prefer something darker and have some stone with violet undertones that you're trying to work with, this can be a really nice choice, and I do like that it has a bit of warmth to it. Next we have Iron Gray, which was really popular through the earlier 2020s. It is a charcoal with a green undertone, just a little bit subtler than Sherwin-Williams Rock Bottom. Because of the charcoal craze over the last several years, this is a color that could start looking dated within the next few years. It really looks best on modern style homes and Scandinavian style homes. And like with all really dark exterior colors, they always look best with lots of greenery and landscaping and exterior lighting to bring back in some life and some warmth. With coordinating dark windows and roof, and lots of windows, by the way. Dark colors like this always look best with lots of glazing to break up all of that dark siding. Now we have a few more colors coming up with Deep Ocean. This is a navy blue, just a touch lighter than Benjamin Moore's Hail Navy. I think it looks especially good on traditional homes with lots of architectural interest and lots of white trim to balance it out. You could try it with cobblestone trim for a lower contrast look, but I think Deep Ocean would probably be best with some sort of custom off-white trim if you don't want to use the Arctic white. And by that I mean something in the world of Benjamin Moore's Feather Down or Sherwin-Williams White Duck. Now for the only green on the list, we have Mountain Sage. This is a deep mossy green sitting somewhere between Benjamin Moore Rolling Hills and Forest Floor. I wish it were a little lighter and a little subtler, but it is still nice to have a green option in there. This is another one that was popular through the 2000s, paired with deep beiges and reds. So I think the most updated way to use mountain sage is with light trim, either Arctic white or cobblestone. And the upside of mountain sage is that it's colorful enough to handle a fun front door color. So you actually have lots of options there. And it definitely looks good with wood. So you actually have quite a bit of selection when it comes to your accents, and you can have a bit of fun with this one. Okay, now on to Country Lane Red. This is a deep muted brick color similar to Benjamin Moore Harvest Brown. Now, I know red is not for everyone, but if you love a red house, I say go for it. I think it looks especially good on classic traditional homes with architectural interest like dormers and lots of light trim to balance it out. And it looks great with flowers and baskets and pretty landscaping to just round out that cozy feel that you get with a red house. And finally, rounding out the statement collection, we have Rich Espresso. This is a deep, cool brown with violet undertones, similar to Sherwin-Williams Black Fox or Benjamin Moore Silhouette. Again, a color like this has the power to date your home, so I would use it with caution. But because it's on the cooler side and has that extra depth, I think this can work well in a mountain home look. I wouldn't use Rich Espresso with horizontal plank, but I think it can look quite good in a board and batten style with matching wide trim and dark windows and dark roof. So again, this isn't a color I would use casually. I think it has to be used quite intentionally, but in certain applications, it can look really great. Now granted, the statement collection is not the most updated palette of colors, so if you're looking for something a bit more colorful or a bit more custom, James Hardie does offer their Dream Collection, which is a huge palette of colors. But I've heard from installers who quote jobs all the time. I've heard numbers anywhere from 50% more to 3 times as much. So going with a Dream Collection color can significantly increase the cost of your renovation. James Hardie also provides primed products, which can then be painted a custom color on site. And again, what I've heard from installers is that up here in Canada, this is an extremely expensive option that very few people go with, but there are some areas down in the States where this is actually quite affordable, so you can always inquire with your installer about a custom paint job instead. But if you are trying to keep it simple and stay within the statement collection, there definitely are a lot of nice colors and even a few nice combinations. So I hope this video helped with your decision, but if you're still feeling confused or you just want a second opinion and peace of mind, I will link my James Hardie Statement Collection consultation down below.